courses to Mr. Raghu. And so, Raghu sir, you had a career as an in-house counsel spanning over 4 decades. You have the various options evolve. You have seen the various options for legal professions evolve from them up to now, with a reference to traditional versus non-traditional careers. So, what have you really seen, and what would be your advice to the students to look out for in their careers?
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you for putting me in the spot. Opening batsman, right? Not a problem. First and foremost, I must express my deep gratitude to Chulni University for inviting us. It's been a great experience this morning. I really liked tree plantation. There's something very dear. Live closer to the nature. So, thank you very much. And this is not the last time that you'll see me here. Now that I'm in love with the university, you'll see me more often. Right? I had a great conversation. And so, coming back to your question, when we joined, I left civil services. I cleared civil services, and I didn't make it to the IAS. My dad was in IAS, so he didn't allow me to join the revenue service. I didn't know why. He said, "You will not join. You've done your law. You practice law." So for 10 days, I didn't speak to my dad because I thought the old man felt son did not make it up to his level, so therefore he should not join. But that's okay. 10 days later, he said, "The reason you still want to join, you can join. But let me tell you, neither will you live, nor will you allow the department to live if you are in the revenue service." So, and we came from a generation where Babaji will बोल दे, कोई लकीर. There is no question of, the wisdom of the elders. You just could not contest. So he said no. Thankfully, Unilever thought I was good enough. I joined Unilever straight from the campus. I never practiced, by the way. I never went to the courts to practice as a lawyer. I took my bar council registration after I left my general counsel, which is as late as 2022. So I'm a very young lawyer as far as the bar council is concerned. Coming back to what is tradition versus, I think there's nothing called tradition. You have to adapt to the changing times. If you don't adapt to we came at a time where in our office it used to be typewriter, and I used to really admire. We used to have one old typist who was actually the branch legal head's typist, but we used to go and had to please him with various things, be nice to him, and he would type our petitions. But the brilliance of that man, he would never take a second thing. He would not make a single spelling mistake. He would type 30 pages. We keep dictating, and he used to actually tell me that you dictate very slowly. You should learn from Rajiv how to dictate. Because Rajiv would dictate half the sentence and leave the rest half for him to type. Because he came from practicing. But that apart, I think what Akhil was mentioning, that it was resonating very well with what I've seen in the last 4 decades. You have to always keep yourself up to date. Knowledge. You have to go after knowledge. We are in a profession where we earn because we have knowledgeable. If you are not knowledgeable, you may still earn, but you will not make it to the level that you want to make it. So knowledge. If you have knowledge, knowledge gives you confidence. Knowledge is the only thing that will give you confidence. That inner confidence, inner courage of conviction. There's something known as, and these are terms that I use very frequently, courage of conviction. You must feel that what I'm saying is right, and I'm backed by solid knowledge. And that gives you confidence. And when you have confidence, that gives you leadership. Till the time you have not opened your mouth, people might say you don't have executive presence, perception, as Akhil was mentioned. But the moment you open your mouth, the perception will gradually fade away. And people will start realizing that you are somebody worth listening. So, point number one, the only way, and what we saw from the 90s till now, from 2025, in the next 30 years, you'll see even more change. Because AI, there's a huge debate whether AI will change life, will not change life. AI, every technological innovation will change life. But will it replace human beings? I don't think so. Only thing is that human beings will have to adapt to the new changing times. you can't, then you will be left behind. It is not that AI cannot take your job. Take it from me, you can argue this with me till the cows come home. AI cannot take your jobs. But yes, are you being able to adapt to the changing technological needs? Are you using them to be ahead of the curve? Abhi ma'am was mentioning about technology. Technology is not the fiefdom of engineers. They create the software, they create the backend. You're not expected to know how a particular software was made, but you must know how to use the software. If you tell me how you don't know how to use Word, you don't know how to use PowerPoint, then that's your problem. You don't have to know how PowerPoint was created. Just giving as a very layman says, we are talking about AI, ChatGPT and all of that, but artificial intelligence is artificial. Intelligence is your intelligence. So please technology will be a support. It can't be the end by itself. You have to apply. There have been instances where people have done legal research and found out judgments which never exist. So it's whatever you feed into the technological platforms, that's what will come back. So that's where you have to filter. You have to apply your mind. You have to and cross-check and use it to your best. So coming back, Rajiv, I think times have changed. Transport system has changed. Drafting has changed. Arguing before the courts have changed. You understand outside the courts, so now online, you get a time, you go online. When Akhil was talking about Himachal, and I was reminded of my state. Do you know that Orissa is the first state in this country where everything, right from district, lower court to the high court, is filed online? And the credit of that goes to Justice Murlika. It's the first state you can file your petitions living in a small remote village, in the small Tehsildar court, online. So what has that done? You don't have to go from Kasoli to Delhi to argue your matter. You have filed it, you get online. You can sit in your Kasoli residence and argue Delhi High Court. That's the way it operates. So councils don't have to, and I'm not for once, we came to Delhi because in our time, it was perceived that if you wanted to go after big things in life, you had to go to a metro. But today it's not. You can live anywhere in the world because with the internet, AI, everything, and you can still make it big. You don't have to innovate in a metro. Because in metro, you don't have time to innovate. You'll spend half of your time transport. From your home to the place, you spend hours and hours. Here you are living in a fantastic environment, you can sit, peace of mind, you can innovate. So the question is, that's another adaptation. And last but not the least, the basic doesn't change. Whether you are in Kasoli, whether you're in Delhi, London, New York, you have to gain your knowledge. You have to be after your knowledge. And knowledge is not limited to the books alone, just the bare acts, statutes. You have to see the implementation. You have to keep yourself civil law countries, common law countries. See how law is evolving across the globe. You are drawing more arguments from international courts than just the domestic courts. And by the way, while I might be talking about international, please be proud about your Indian judiciary. If you read the judgments and read the legal commentaries, you have phenomenal stuff written in this country. And only thing, you have to get used to reading that and imbibe that knowledge. Now, and have hobbies. Like, life is not just law. Because unless you go away from law, you can't come back to law. You have to. If man sings, why does he sing? He sings because he wants to go away from law. And he comes back with all the adulation that he gets in singing, and now puts that to law. That's the way it goes. So you must have hobbies.
Thanks, Abu, for answering the question and all the hobbies and stuff. Two from what Dr. said, Dr. Pandey. My question to you would be the role of AI, technology, digital transformation, etc., in legal careers.
Wonderful. What a nice question you have thrown. I'm not a legal professional. I'm a researcher. I'm a data scientist person, and I think this is the right place. I was writing down the point that AI is not going to replace your job. AI is going to replace you if you don't know AI. So you should know AI. Because these are the tools. When you say artificial intelligence, what does it mean? This intelligence is being created and it is learned. Look, this is not mature. It has started now. The maturity will come later. So if you are afraid by right now what is happening, then what is the future? Now I don't know, but it was being said by Kabir Das or Surdas, somebody, and that was the line that Ali Kali se hi baho aaj hi kola nahi parag nahi madhur nahi vilas ye gaal Ali Ali se hi baho aage kaun nawal. What does it mean? You start fascinated towards the just initiation. When it will mature, then what you will do? So AI has just started. It's not completed yet. And every day when you are uploading your pictures, I'm damn sure that all of you are on Insta. How many of you? Wonderful. Do you know what is the algorithm as a data science? I can tell you how this algorithm is designed. The 60% traffic of Insta are the females, young females between the age 13 to 45, and the entire protocol is designed in such a way to attract those. That's the business. If you're changing your profile, now I'm trying to connect AI, I'll also focus AI and the sciences, behavioral sciences. If you're changing your picture on any of these platforms frequently, more frequently, it means thrice in a week, then you are suffering from a disease known as BDD, body dysmorphic disorder problem, recognition problem. Yes, we are supposed to use these tools, but we are supposed to understand that how the things is changing. Because if you not evolve with the pace that things is changing, then you will left it out. And that's why somebody says, I think I have written it, that in Vedas it is everything is changing with respect to sthanam, kalam, patram. What does it mean? What does it mean? The place, the time, and the individual. And something which has been stagnant, which is not changing with respect to time, that is known as jad. Jad means murkh. And that's why it is being written. Nothing is permanent. It has been written way back by Baba Tulsidas somewhere that nothing is permanent. He said, Bal Vikram Ved Gadhich Gayo, or Parth Gyo Jo Bharat Thana, Jang Jure Duryodhan Jo Jo 64 कोस में छत्र बिताना बाली गयो बलराम गयो जिनकी कखरी रस्सी से लुटाना धरा को प्रमाण यही तुलसी जो परा से धरा से बरा से लुटाना. What it means? Nothing is permanent. So what exactly you have to do? How you have to make the pace along with the AI? Whether AI has matured enough? No, not at all. When you are opening a website in incognito mode, do you think that I have not showed anyone, I have not stored the data anywhere? If you want to open a new website on your PC, what does happen? What does two lines come first below the website? Accept? Please speak. Accept? Or what is our legal frameworks talked about? This is silent. There is no law till date in this country which actually allow you or restrict them to store your cookies. And how this cookies is being used? So one day when this lady was searching shoes for her, and another day what you find, beta? Advertisement related to shoes. Wow, wonderful. How come they know? The cookies has been stored, you allowed, and without your permission this has been used, and now this has been sold. Nothing comes free in the life. There's a very nice book. The book title is Future Crime. And that book I would like to quote. The book says, if you are getting something free, then please understand you are not customer, you are product. So actually you are product, you are working for them. So point is that how AI is going to shape the future. I told you that AI is going to do a lot of change, but we have to evolve ourselves. And what is the role of law there? No, right individual, right set of decision, right set of procedure, and right intellect is required. And the legal fraternity has that capability to critically evaluate the phenomena, to conclude those things strategically. Because again, I would like to quote Ramcharitmanas. It says that 3%, they should never let fear when they are talking with you. Those who are Sachiva, Vaid, Guru, Teen, Jo, Priya, Bola, Bhaya, As, Rajya, Dharma, Tan, Teen, Kar, Oihe, Begi, Hinas. What does it mean? Your secretary. Secretary means the person who gave you suggestions. Your lawyer can be your secretary. Vaid, your doctor and your teacher, if they have a level of fear while telling the ugly truth in front of your face, then definitely everything is going to destroy. So AI has evolved, it will evolve. I remember in 2015 I met a company in the Bangalore and they told me that, sir, we are building a AI powered counselor. So, and they are training, they are telling that we are going to train it next 20 years and one day we'll replace it. Now you can ask that I have class 10, this percentage, 12, this percentage, what I should do. Now AI powered machine will tell you these are the 20 options, you can go for this, you can go for this, you can go for this. It is not a big deal. It is very easy. It's very easy. But the point of fact that how AI is going to shape the future, look, you have to deep down and find out that what are the loopholes are there still. AI has not matured yet. Whatever the regulations, I'm sure that you might visit outside India. The regulation which has been followed by these platforms, social media, online platform in India, and the same companies when they are operating outside India, it is totally different. The restrictions are different because we are not following GDPR. Our IT Act is still reforming, and we have to do a lot of changes. And that's why it is very important. I was just thinking that, look, you should do few things directly, you should do few things indirectly. So you should not fight some of them directly, and you should try to make the things in a strategic way. We are lacking in that way. In AI, we are lacking. China is taking some of us. Manoj, they have recently launched Manoj, DeepSeek R, GPT-4, 3, 4. We are thinking now. They will take the first mover advantage. We are still thinking whether we should go for digital currency or not. China has started it. We will think. So the point is that we are actually in the process that first somebody will do, then we'll start. Let's not become follower. Because we have that phenomena. This all AI system which has been built across the globe, if you deeply search, you'll find an Indian mindset there. So AI is not a challenge. It's a tool. There's a thin line between the ethics. Nobody talk about the AI ethics. Yes, it is very important. I was talking with Vikesh in the morning that look, you cannot outsource your critical thinking to AI. AI can do that dirty work of literature before you, but the critical in-depth insight into the phenomena and identifying the loophole into the existing process, that you have to use your own brain. So I would like to humbly put forward here in front of you, sir, that AI has immense opportunities. It has not been mature enough, and if you want to integrate it, it has already been integrated. I'm not sure, but many of your students, they might submitting their reports. It means we have to evolve now. Now, I will not give them a task. I'm not going to give a case. They read it out. They will do it, they will get it out. Now, what we have done, one of my students, he has developed a patent. What he has done, he says, I'm not going to ask questions. I'm going to evaluate. How will you evaluate? We'll give you an answer. And we'll ask you to evaluate it on the 5-point rating or 6-point rating. And give how many marks you want to give? It's a 4. If you detected 1 marks, why you have detected? And then, the moment you are giving a wrong answer, the difficulty level of question goes down. The moment you are giving right answer, that why you have detected marks, it will go up. And this is not question, it is answer. And then while you think that I'm evaluating the copies, answering the question, but actually you are evaluating. So that already being done, and after some time you will be, this is your final score. So what I'm telling, the technology needs to merge along with the different domain, different area, and language of this everywhere same. You can use it. I hope I'm able to address.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pandey. I think this is a question which is, I think, from all the students, right? And they requested me to put this question to you, which is that everyone reads the law. We read the same books, same statutes. What are those soft skills which you feel they should really focus on to be successful legal professionals?
So, just give an example. So, have you attended a court hearing? So, how much time does a judge give a counsel to present a case? How many seconds? 90 seconds. And how much long brief do you prepare for those 90 seconds? So that's the difference, whether it's before a judge or whether it's before a corporate client like us. So all those corporate lawyers that we are here, imagine a situation if our managing director is expecting an answer, and if we write up to our managing director a 20-page memo, which I think all universities teach students how to write long answers or long submissions. I think what we have to do is, we have learned that art in a university, now we have to unlearn. And what we have to unlearn is how to very briefly put across our point of view. And that is some of the things which we have to really learn, which at least I didn't have that ability. So I was, whenever I got hands-on to writing emails, my emails used to be very long. People used to say, "Matlab kya hai?" So that is something, as a legal student, we have to really understand and adapt ourselves when you go to a workplace, that you have to give your point of view very clearly. Because the attention span is very short, and even before a court of law, it's very short. So we have to really adapt ourselves. The other soft skills, as I think Raghu sir also mentioned, is how to get 48 hours out of your 24 hours. Because anybody who has achieved something in life, the difference between somebody who is wanting to achieve and somebody who has achieved is they have always extracted 48 hours out of those 24 hours. And they have also found time to relax. They have also found time for hobbies. So we have to really understand how do we make ourselves more productive. So when you go to a workplace, after doing law, perhaps you will be spending about 12 to 14 hours working. But you have to adapt to become more efficient. So what you are able to do today, say 12 hours at your workplace, your efficiency in terms of knowledge should enable you to do that same work in 6 hours. And if you do that work of 14 hours in 6 hours with achieving efficiency, which is again related to knowledge and of course tools that you adapt to, what sir said, that is the key that you will gain 48 hours out of those 24 hours. So any achiever, you say, whether it's our Prime Minister, whether anybody who is a big industrialist, a Steve Jobs or somebody, they created trillion-dollar organization, which you use as an iPhone. So he would have done something really different. So that difference and efficiency is something which we need to be very focused on.
Ms. Rama, this question is to you, as the managing director of your company. That if free students from Shulnik were to apply for a job in your organization, which one would you pick and for what reasons? What would you see? What would you like to see in them to just pick one of them for a job?
That's quite a general question for that reason. I think any organization, it will be looking for as an employee, apart from the effective communication and all those parameters on which two legal luminaries will be, in any case, will be standing quite good. Let me bifurcate this question into two parts. there is two kind of job scenarios which are available in India right now. One is the corporate sector, which most of the Boeing and all those companies are represented, and second is the SME sector, which I represent. So here, if you see that 97% of Indian industry is all SME sector, MSME sector, and they are now opening up their, to the, like SME IPOs are coming, and where the legal experts are going to be recruited, and then the startup ecosystems. That's where you people are going to be. Mine is I would say it's on a small category, but then if you go for a startup ecosystem and you go join a startup company, nowadays the legal part is the most important part. It's a very critical part. NDAs, your term sheets, your definitive agreements, your SHAs, SPAs, all those you should be having a knowledge. So anybody joining a startup should be having a knowledge of the current ecosystem of the startups. That is one part which we will be looking for. And second is, I believe that when you are looking for a kind of an expert in the legal system in small scale, it will be actually, the time will come, it will be coming as a SaaS-based support services. It will be a service, software as a service. The lot of platforms where you are going to utilize that knowledge, and the companies will be, the apps are there already, the Wakil search is there, and all those companies are already launching those things. So you should be, well versed with all those things, how to utilize that knowledge. And so let me correct, yesterday there was a news in the Economic Times, it's called a Turing study. I don't know how many of you, I read that word for the very first time. It is a study done by the scientist Turing, where the difference between an AI and the human intelligence is being judged. And yesterday they said there's a thin line difference between a human intelligence and an artificial intelligence. It has exceeded to about 70%. They checked with OpenAI, ChatGPT 4.5 and Meta AI. And yesterday they said that they are very close to the human behaviors. So they might not replace, but that's a big threat. Sorry, it's a little off the topic because I was thinking that yesterday there was a thing. So I personally believe that if you have looking for a job in the manufacturing or in the industry sector, it is not your knowledge of the legal knowledge which is important. It is, if it is a data analytics based kind of thing, you should be having an additional interdisciplinary skills. You should be working on either the artificial intelligence or machine learning or compliance and risk management. Those are the things which companies really look forward to. So there are a lot of interdisciplinary courses, or you should be having that kind of a knowledge. Apart from your legal knowledge, which in any case the company will be utilizing, but you should be having the tech part. We have been seeing tech, food tech, fintech. Now the two kind of techs which are in vogue is the legal tech and another is space tech. So I believe that technology is going to remain there. It is going to be embedded in the courses for time to come. Shulani is doing a wonderful job by embedding your technology in this. But I personally believe that if it's just an advice which I can suggest is that, legal people, when you're doing, you are not very strong in tech part. So it should be a collaborative effort between the other departments to give that kind of an interdisciplinary overview where that can be utilized once you are applying for the company. And if you can be an all-rounder, you can be an effective communicator, and you have the go-getting kind of a thing, and that is what an industry looks for. Thank
you. Because you recently had the Vidhi Utsav, you had lawyers, you had judges, you had practicing counsel, you had legal literature over there. Any insights you would like to share about the same and the books that you published or launched at that?
Sure. Thank you so much, first of all, Shooting University and Ajit for inviting me here. Before I get into video itself, I have a question to ask all of you. How many of you buy books? How many of you read those books? Okay. Which is fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll come to that. Okay. Okay. How many of you, based on a couple of initial discussions that have happened, truly believe that books are a great resource for knowledge and skill building? Okay. So you largely answered my, what I'm going to tell you now. See, books should not be viewed only as books. It's a form of content. Okay. We are very fortunate that somebody with 20, 30, 40 years of experience distills his entire life's wisdom and writes a book that we can easily buy for a couple of ₹100 or maybe even lend from library. This is a knowledge that if you were to hire in the form of a consulting assignment, you'll probably end up paying millions of dollars. So a lot of times I think it's about having the right perspective and understanding where I'm going to gather the knowledge first from. There are three things that I often tell young students across disciplines. You heard about KYC, right? Know your customer, right? So there's a thing called KSC, right? There are three things that are most important for any student or young professional to build a strong career. One is knowledge. K stands for knowledge. S stands for skills. And C stands for connections. These three things will ultimately determine how successful you are going to be in your life. Knowledge comes from multiple sources. You should have the ability to be able to figure out which sources are providing me the kind of right knowledge that I require to succeed. It can come from books. It can also come from digital technology media. It can come from events like these. How many of you are taking notes today? Okay. You've got to understand one thing, and this is statistically proven, that we tend to forget things and lose things very fast. Typically, if you hear some great speech, by next day, you would have lost 30% of it. By next week, you would have lost 80% of it. And by a month end, you will probably retain only 2% of it. The reason I'm saying this is that if you are getting access to some great knowledge and great people, make best use of it. Don't miss out on any opportunity, take notes. If you don't have a notepad or a diary, just send a WhatsApp message to yourself with bullet points of key points that you learned, right? That reminds you, so वो जो अखिल सर ने सुइयों वाली बात करी थी ना, वो आपको याद दिलाएंगी कि मैंने कुछ सुना था, उसके बारे में और पढ़ना चाहता हूँ, जानना चाहता हूँ. Okay. As publishers, I have essentially spent my entire life in book publishing, information solutions, knowledge solutions companies. As publishers, one of the things that we often try and do is, if we are also doing what everybody else is doing, is that then how are we adding value to making lives of our customers, readers better? Okay, and that's where critical thinking and innovative thinking comes in. We predominantly do books on law and tax. We do commentaries like other publishers. These are opinions of expert authors, lawyers, judges. But we also thought that as times change, as situations demand, what can additionally be offered to younger professionals to be able to help them, equip themselves with the right set of skills and knowledge to succeed in the profession. So we do, very innovative kind of books. If I can show you one, and I'm not trying to sell these to you, but just want to tell you. How many of you have seen this book, LinkedIn for Lawyers? Right? Great. So it is not your failure, but my failure as a publisher and a marketer that I have not been able to create enough noise about it. But it's not bad to be on Insta. It's a good, fun platform. But I think for professionals, a better platform to be on is LinkedIn, right? And if you have a good platform like LinkedIn, if you have ability to craft a good, compelling message about yourself, LinkedIn provides you multiple opportunities to connect with all kinds of right people, right? In the KSC thing that I was telling about, K stands for knowledge. Skills is something that you acquire by seeing people, by hearing them, by attending workshops, and by practicing. Right? These are procedural know-how skills, right? Courtroom craft, drafting contracts, pleadings, right? All of that. And the C part is the connections part. You got to know how to network with the right set of people to be able to, extract their wisdom and use it for your advantage. If you're not working on all the three, you'll probably do a reasonable job, but then you'll probably be lagging behind on some aspects. As publishers, one of the things that we thought early on was that what can we do to improve readership, to improve the quality of scholarly publishing? And that's when we came up with the concept of Vidhi Utsav. It is India's first festival of law and legal literature, created with the objective of building a property where experts, thought leaders, scholars, people from academia, students all congregate together and learn from each other, right? We did first edition in 2024, and we had a second edition that was done in February this year. It's a massive, large-scale format event, about 2,300 attendees, 100 speakers, 2-day event with 45 sessions, massive event. And the way we go about it is that we look at which topics are most critical and important for today's professionals. So, as Akhilji mentioned, as Avniji mentioned, technology is going to play a dominant role. So we had a lot of topics associated with AI, technology, and in fact, yesterday evening, Honorable Vice President released one book of ours. It's called AI on Trial. It's authored by a member of Parliament of Rajya Sabha, Mr. Sujit Kumar. I could not attend it because I had already committed to Rajiv ji, so I told him that I'll probably attend it some other time. But we are trying to create content which is relevant and which adds value to what you're trying to do. So largely that what we've also done is we've made all the videos of Vidhi Utsav for both the editions available on YouTube for free. So there's great content. I would encourage all of you to go there, check out, look at the speaker list, look at their profiles. Akhilji has mentioned, he narrated his story at Vidhi Utsav first, and it's very inspirational and very moving, and there are more such, experiences that people have shared. So yeah, so largely that.
You've been an in-house counsel, you've been a practicing lawyer, your dad's been a lawyer. So if a student has to apply for internship, what would be the best process you would kind of educate them on?
Hello. So thank you to Student University and to Rajiv sir for having me over. And before I answer sir, I just want to ask who all are from judicial background? Some judges at home or some kids of advocates and all that. Okay, plenty of this. So taking you from Akhil sir about legacy and how we use it. So I am from a family of lawyers, and my father was a long time standing lawyer. So I have been born into a hardcore litigation home. So what Akhil sir said, legacy and how we get used to it and get cozy about it. So I was studying law and we got cozy about the fact that fathers are there and we would be taking over his work and it would be a cakewalk. But when I entered the profession, it was absolutely a big shocker because the practice area what he was into was very different from what I wanted to get into. So I was as good a fresher as anyone from a non-legal background. So just want to emphasize the fact that having a legacy itself is not a guarantee for any success. So my thoughts would be completely first-hand what I went through it. So for a lawyer, adaptability was the first thing which I found was very, very important because it was a shocker. I couldn't take up his work and I was trying to find out as to, and I'm wearing my black clothes and going into the court, not knowing what to do the next thing. So I began from scratch and my thoughts have been, I'm core corporate and core litigation both. So I've seen both the worlds. So few things, so before coming, I was trying to use AI to use the topics and find the answer, the topic career development, and I found it was trash. So I thought I put my thoughts to it. So AI doesn't work everywhere, so I'm using artificial intelligence to answer what I went through. So first thing is, as Sir's question was, skill development. I think skill development was very important. We lawyers end up being with law books. So during my journey as a lawyer, I found reading of geopolitics, finance, and many such topics very important. Even if we have no work, it is very important to be very well read. So first thing was, reading case laws and being up to date with finance, because finance plays a big role in companies, and there are numbers which are above our head when we have discussions. So picking up short courses like GST course or VAT course, they came handy. Corporate course. So whenever you have time, as practicing lawyers or in-house lawyers, pick up courses and try to excel and try to use it during the discussions with either your clients or your general counsel or anybody who's hiring you. And then adaptability as a lawyer. I was a litigating lawyer. I moved into corporate role. Very nicely, an agreement came, 500 pages agreement came. I just gave my opinion, I was sitting back. And I found the company not coming to me, and I found that it was a very easy thing, salary coming, and reading a contract and just sitting back and get all the brownies which lawyers try to earn. Then my president came from Delhi to Chandigarh and he said, boss, it's not the way you're thinking. I said, sir, I've done my work, I've given my comments. He said, you have to handhold us. You have to really enable us. You have to really take us to some place. And he says that you're having a practicing mindset of a lawyer, just leave it behind, getting into a company. So it was my second shocker. After ending profession, my second shocker was getting into a job. And during a job, the expectation is absolutely different from a practicing lawyer. Practicing lawyer, we have up nose and the egos and all the coming to our office. There, I have to go to the client and see if they're fine or not. So I had to discuss the agreement with them, get their perspective, put them into words, and close the agreement. And that was the end of my job, not the beginning. So the second thing was adaptability from an in-house lawyer to litigation, and litigation to in-house, vice versa. So work ethics. I think the work ethics played a big role. So first thing is, as a practicing lawyer, my dad would always go to the office, even if it was a vacation time, it was any period of time. He would sit in the office and I would just make fun of him that he wasn't part of the family functions and all that. He used to say, Shivji gaddi hai, baitha kar. And he's no more to say, but I have transitioned from practicing lawyer to corporate to practicing in the current scenario, and of course litigation. Now, contrary to what I was thinking, I sit on Sundays, there is no work, I have to be there because it's a gaddi and we have to respect our seat. As in-house lawyers, we have to be putting the number of hours, catering to our clients, get their needs, and enable the business. As a litigating lawyer, we have to be in the office, be like a manager, a CEO, see the finances, wait for the client, look at the research work, and many things. And as a lawyer in the company, we have checks and balances. We have a role to have checks and balances. There's a good saying, if a lawyer is extremely popular in the company, it's a red flag for the company. So a lawyer cannot be popular, he's a checks and balances, even if the company may not like the suggestions, but highlighting is his job. The company may take a call subsequently. Number two, we have to revert within timelines. Whatever the clients come with, the ethics make you revert on timelines. There's no second way to it. The goodwill starts from there onwards. Your contemporaries, like your in-house counsel, your bosses, will remember you 10 years even after leaving the company. Your clients remember you 20 years after leaving the company. So, integrity. Now, as a practicing lawyer, I'm a standing counsel for Government of Punjab, and I'm instrumental in anti-encroachment and anti-land grab for Government of Punjab. And I know the kind of people who call up while I'm arguing the cases, the kind of pressures the municipal commissioners are facing as to not to appear, because I have been getting about 10-15 cases dismissed from these encroaches. And the kind of pressures which come from such quarters, which anybody would probably shy away. So they are terrible pressures in terms of influences and monitoring. So integrity really plays a big role, and it's difficult. It's less paid, but really goes a long way. And then my fourth point is network building. Network is very important for a lawyer. I think as rightly said, LinkedIn profile should be updated, and being part of CII, NASCOM, city industry associations, and one of the most boring things which my dad used to say that Independence Day, High Court may function and go there, meet the benches. I would just defy because parents are there. After he has gone, I'm sure to be on Independence Day or Republic Day, have tea with the judges, get their perspective, meet them, get their views and all that. So it's really important to leave your four corners and really branch out to the people who matter in your profession. Maybe your bosses. Rajiv sir has been giving mentorship like anything. He's been very open door, ask him, and he gives feedback. You don't like that point of time, but something makes you think that something is correct about him. So in company, your general counsels, or in practice, your judges, your contemporaries, senior lawyers. So they really go a long way. And pick up the experience of the grassroots. Now, when we have lean period during practice days, I go for mediation centers in High Court. And the kind of perspective you get from public at large when you have family issues coming to you, when you have both the parties crying foul, it is so damning to hear what all happens. So until the lawyers are grassrooted to know what's happening in society, we cannot help the clients while arguing the cases in the court. So it's very important to be grassrooted in terms of pro bono work. There are people who can't afford. So join the pro bono. You all have the best time to do pro bono work. Mediation centers and travel outstations, go to different ports. They're sea ports, Patwari ports. I was made to go to some port in Bathinda. It was called some Rama Mandi port and all that. I didn't know why am I going after studying in such colleges. But the kind of experience I got in land revenue matters as to how land cases are dealt, it's still late helping me out. And network really helps. When I was with Government of Punjab in my initial years, those bureaucrats have seen the work 20 years back. So when I'm back to my market, so they remember the kind of work. So getting back to sir, as to what do we see when you have some person who is coming. One, we have some internees coming, and surprisingly, I respect the ideas, but surprisingly, the first thing is remuneration. I don't know because, to be fair from the senior's point of view, we need to really know as to how much the person knows and how much is sincere to come, so that we could fix up a salary. The point is, we used to go to our seniors, we used to be paid pittance. But what I earned from my senior advocates, the art of drafting, the art of arguing, and the art of articulating, has helped me till date. And that's immeasurable, that's unquantifiable. So I think when you go to the seniors, I think it will be hard. Be a little humble to just get into the offices and try to pick up why they are seniors and why they are so good. Money will flow, money will definitely come. So be easy on asking a private practicing lawyer. And of course, when you go to the company, I would see, when I used to interview, I would see how they are dressed. Even during COVID times when I used to have VC, I used to be made fun of at home. I used to wear full dress and be in the computer for 2 years. When I'm dealing with Indian company something, because that's a dress code, you're used to it. So I would really strongly recommend that first impression really works. Be well turned out, well dressed. Even if it's a short meeting, just make it part of your, because lawyers, it really matters. We have a dress code, like police, like doctors. So we are very lucky to be dressing and having a gown to wear and keep the home. So part two is that how you turn out. And then respect and humility. And of course, fourth part is the hard skill, which is the work, which is, of course, which comes with experiencing them and testing you out and error-free documents. For documents, I would say if you create a document, don't give it out because you're in a hurry. Take about 2 more hours and get back to your documents. You'll find many more improvements happening. So when I have a very important document, if I have luxury of time, I do it in the morning. By evening, I find out many more improvements to give out. So how you giving to your senior and how your drafting is happening and how sincere you are about feedback from the seniors and not revolting, it really goes a long way. So I see these things in my company hiring and in my office hiring. I would like to
a question from the students. How do you prepare for your first interview?
Honestly, I didn't prepare. I was surprised that I was called for the interview. You know, somebody, that was the year when Mandal Commission Education was happening. And we were all finally a law, just pass out batch, but university was shut down. I don't know, many of you must not be born then, right? So Delhi was burning, student agitation and all that. And suddenly some hostel mate says, there will be a chitti aaya Hindustan University. I said, was it kidding? Yeah. Then I remembered that I had a friend in Hindustan Liver who had joined. At night, 9:30, very, that guy said, "There is chitti hai, le le." I opened it, I see the next day, 3:34, I had an interview. And then I asked a friend of mine, I said, what do you do? He said, don't do anything, just go there. Go there, be honest and just speak. And that's it. And that's all that I did. And that's all I do even today. In the sense that when my friend was talking about what is seen competence for when you hire people, I never believed that if there's lack of competence, it's not an issue. You can grow the competence. If there's a lack of attitude, then you don't have that. You don't have a guy who has wrong attitude. Just talking about salaries. If a guy wants to join your company because they want a high salary, don't have them. Because they don't know. How many of you have seen 3 Idiots movie? What's the moral of the movie?
Learning is
आप अपना काम करते जाओ, success जट मार के आपके पीछे आएगी, right? That's the dialogue, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the way. Can you believe in my years, in all my years, and the friends from the General Council, fraternity will, I have never bargained or asked for a salary hike. Never. Even when I've changed jobs, whoever is the new company, the HR gives you a letter, I'll just take it and put it in the pocket. That'll be a very nice incident. When I was joining Maths Group, the promoter, Amarjit Singh, we were having a meeting in Taj. He says, so see, what's your expectation? I said, how does that matter? That was my question. I said, how does that matter? He says, no, you don't have an expectation. He says, so I told him, you are the promoter. You'll pay me what you think is best. And that's it. Then it's up to me whether I want to join or not. But that's relative. But if I today, I don't want to be, I'm not sitting in Bindi Bazaar, right? And I just took the envelope and just put it in my pocket. And I said, I'm presuming you're the chairman. This is the best that the company can offer. That's it. And lo and behold, you keep working, and the same man will reward you over a period of time. So one other thing that I want to tell you people, like youngsters, don't change jobs. Please. Change roles. How many of you understand the difference? Don't change jobs. Change roles if you want to. Get into larger and larger pie. That's how you learn. I'm sure all of you will go back after the session and look at all our LinkedIn profiles. Relate to my LinkedIn profile there. I have never changed a job. Every job is a larger and larger role. If I had to change a job, and I was in Hindustan Liver, I got an offer from Pepsi, Nestle, all of them. It's like doing the same job that I was doing in Livers to go and do that in Pepsi. Why should I change? And I moved from industries to industry. I was in FMCG, hardcore FMCG, Hindustan Liver. I moved to American Express, hardcore banking, and did the whole 9 years of banking. Then moved to Maths Group, where what was my intent? I was to at all India level, right? You must be at a group level. So I joined Maths parent, and I used to monitor Maths Life, Maths Bupa, Maths Healthcare, all of that. And from there, when I moved to Mudson, I went to a global role. So every time I change my job, as people say, I actually change my role. Because changing jobs, how do you know the new employer will be better than the current employer? It's up to you how you make your job. it's up to you. If you have the right attitude, you'll enjoy. Rajiv will bear with me. We used to have other police, many police came to join and left. But we enjoyed. It was a difficult job. And you talked about going to different courts. If you guys really want to see all the courts in India, please join Hindustan Lever. They'll send you to the remotest of places that you won't have heard. One day evening at 7:30, my boss says, you have to go to a place called Gauri Phanta checkpost. I didn't even know where the hell is Gauri Phanta checkpost. Lakhimpur Kheri. Half of the office did not know Lakhimpur Kheri district kahan par. And next day morning, 10 o'clock, you have to go to take a seat stay. And you start off driving the whole night without realizing that you are not supposed to drive in that Terai belt in midnight, because that was the day, those were the days when you had heavily infested with terrorists. The Khalistan movement and all that used to happen, people used to do it. I didn't know. Nobody told me I was searching for a Lakhimpur Kheri, right? I reached at 10 o'clock in the morning, go to the Assistant Commissioner Customs to find everybody is sitting at 10:30, wearing shorts and all of that, black label, bottle on the table. You walk in, Hindustan Lever से आए हैं, सुबह 10 बजे बैठ के घर हो गए। फिर आपके लिए हमने होटल रूम कर दिया, आप जाइए फ्रेशन होके, हमें पता था आप आएंगे। तो ऐसे सर 10 बजे आना तो मैटर के लिए, आपका मैटर फाइल, I went, came back, then search for the file. Well, these are experience. I'm not trying to bore you all, but experience. The file, the main file was in a godown, and in a location where there were no lights after sunset. I was in an ambassador car, took the car to the godown, switch on the headlights, search file by file. 9 o'clock in the night, we get the file, get the order, and then the guy says, I said, इसको fax करना नहीं. बोलता fax तो नहीं हो सकता. It's a check post close to Nepal. बोलते एक काम कर सकते हैं, आपको foreign भेज सकते हैं. So the customer also took me across the border. From Nepal, I faxed it to my boss. And that was my first international call that I made from Nepal, because from this side, you would go into that, what was that, trunk call. You would get trunk call, I got near the Bharban. So that's what. But one is you can enjoy it, you can say, or you can say that I qualified for this, have a chip on your shoulder, leave the job the next day morning, say what's my quality of life, all that nonsense that I hear of it. This quality of life is as good or as bad as you make it. You must enjoy when you study, you must enjoy when you work, you must enjoy when you go home. Like for me, I can told Rajiv, कहाँ है दिल्ली में बैठा हूँ आराम से, कहाँ तो कहाँ पहाड़ियों में ले जा रहा है. But it's the passion that you have. You want to do something, you want to enjoy it, you come. And by the way, I came 2 days before. I enjoyed 2 days in Kasoli and then today I'm here. So it's all about either you want to enjoy, and enjoyment is a state of mind. You don't need anything outside to influence you to enjoy. Either you're happy or you're unhappy. You will see, even in your class, there will be some kids who will always say, ये नहीं होता मेरे से, वो नहीं होता, अरे छड़ यार नहीं होता ना, आगे बढ़, क्या हो रहा? The subject, and now you can confess, the subject, there used to be a paper called Family Law 2. Okay? The smile tells me that you guys are also facing the same difficulties that I was facing. So the time when I prepared and took the exam, I didn't clear that paper. So when the supplementary time came, I said, I'm not going to read. Or Dukhi जानते हैं? No? Huh? Guides? No? So मैं Dukhi पढ़ लिया, just to refresh. And I went into the exam. And I didn't know. I got 67 out of 100. I said, ठीक है. When I studied, I got some 35. And I didn't study, I didn't. So logical mind. Huh? Lot of information. So coming back to, I think, live life, have the right attitude, please. Don't work for anybody. Your parents don't need your money. मुझे इतना है मेरे घर के लिए करना है, नहीं करो यार, अपने लिए करो. Just work hard, play hard. That's it. Enjoy life. Life will teach you so many things that you can't even imagine. You have seen people wear suits and all that here. Ask them, each one will write a book on their life. And what kind of trials and tribulations that they must have gone through. You heard one snippet from Dr. Akhil, but you can ask each one and they'll tell you so many stories. And you will build your own story. You write your own book. Yeah? You don't have to follow any one of us. You don't have to. You know, if you start following, you can only be a follower. You'll never be a leader. You lead your life, but have the right attitude.
Thank you, Ravi.
So I think no legal discussion can be complete without Sunny Deol's favorite lines, Tariq pe Tariq. So Indian judicial system, I think has more than 5 crore pending cases. There is AI, all the wonders of AI, very well-educated system. And I've had the good fortune of visiting courts recently, spending time dealing with lawyers. I was talking to Rajiv, law firms in Delhi who charge you a lot of money, face value. So what should the legal education system do to address some of these chronic issues which are there for the common man? Right? I'm not talking about corporate buyers. If you have a petition, if you file it in the courts, it is quite an issue. So I think legal fraternity and legal education can do, or legal researchers can come up with something. Because this gets discussed with a lot of legal luminaries. I'm saying the Chief Justice of India will give an update, a scorecard update, many times may over. But fundamentally, the issue is not being solved. Thank you.
So who do you want?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and my answer is that courts need to adapt AI more than the corporates. So everybody is talking about whether Boeing or any other company is using those tools. Why are we not asking those questions from the judiciary itself? What are you guys doing for solving problems? Why should there be 5 crores or more pending cases? So I think the implementation of technology and AI has to be at the judicial level, which nobody is talking about. And I think that's the question we should ask the judiciary. And it should be a parliament question every time. Raise up the hand and perhaps say, what did you guys do? So that has to be done. Question is who last?
I just want to add. I have a slight, what you're saying is absolutely right, that's the reality. But I have a contrary view. We lawyers increase litigation. We are the guys, because it is for our self-sustenance. And I'll give you an example. This has been my mission motto. I have never promoted any guy in my team who has added litigation. You'll be surprised, and I don't know how many of you know this, my last company, Motherson. It's a global company, operates in 42 countries. I used to manage 242 companies, in-house companies, 350 factories. We had zero litigation. Zero. No litigation at all. Because the reason why, if you can't solve a problem inside with your client, if you expect a court to solve it, you're paying good money after bad money. Period. I'll give you a small example. Your neighbor throws garbage into your suppose you living in a bus and the side neighbor throws garbage. Okay? The first thing is that you never go to the neighbor and talk to him. Because neighbor is not doing it, neighbor's maid is doing it. Or neighbor's servant is doing it. Or it continues 2-3 days. Your wife is after your life. You say, I'll call Rajiv Chauhan and now we'll go and send a legal notice. Rajiv will send a legal notice. The other guy has an ego. He says, Acha, legal notice there. I know Akhil will respond. And dhire, who's benefiting? Rajiv and Akhil are benefiting. Right? You are still living with the problem. Simple thing. There used to be an ad, Airtel used to say, "Baat karne se baat banti hai." Talk to the person. Try to, legal profession is not litigation. Legal profession is not about contesting matters. Legal profession is about how do you help the society to grow to better society, ethically, with integrity, all the things that he said, and in a nice manner. How often do you want to go to the courts? And you're saying, I really empathize with you that you have to go to the courts. Because they say, police, doctor, or वकील के हवाले लगना ही नहीं चाहिए आपको. Because that's not a great experience. One of the reasons why I joined corporate and never came back to practice is that when I used to handle my corporate matters and I used to go to the High Court, we used to wait for the whole day, and at 3:30 the matter gets adjourned. What do you come back and tell your boss that what did you do? You had 4 cups of tea, didn't have your lunch, and you're waiting for the matter to come. So the question is that litigate, if you live around the world, lawyers are nation builders. Lawyers have always been nation builders. It's up to whether we want to build it in the right manner and have the courage of admission to tell people this is not what a litigation. I have not, except 2 instances in my whole career, where 2 senior lawyers said you don't have a matter worth litigation. Every other counsel will tell you, "Haji, file kar denge," knowing very well that matter will get dismissed. So the question is that you must build your own knowledge, and now is far better than yesteryears, where you have access to a lot of information. You broadly know whether you are on the right side or on the wrong side. If you believe you are on the wrong side, your facts are good, and then reach out to your friends. Don't go by big names. And whoever told you that law firms will charge a form, then sometimes they'll ask for your kidney as well.
Other questions?
Good afternoon, panel. I wanted to ask a question as a student and as a person who is interested in the law academia. So I wanted to ask that right now we are facing a huge problem with AI integration and law. So what are the things that I can do as a student that helps me bridge this gap? And also I had a question to sir as well, that everyone, it's an open panel question as well, that how as a student I should adapt to every field of law, because once I go into expertise of one subject, so it will be very difficult to me to come back to another subject and practice it. So what are the things I should do?
Only one answer for this, bacha. Update yourself. Only one. You can't say that I'm lawyer. I don't feel comfortable with the number. I don't rely on technology. You are carrying a mobile. Do you carry a mobile? What is the capacity of a mobile? How many GB? You do have. This is a mini computer. So you all carry a mini computer in your pocket. You are using that, and then you are telling I'm not tech savvy. Then you are telling I'm not an AI guy. Actually, we all are using it. The matter of fact that if you really want to become a successful individual across any area, you have to adopt the technology. You have to adopt what if the change is happening. If you are not going to be the change, understand and absorb that, then you will be out from the market. You have seen the example of Nokia. Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
There was time, there was the king of the market, but they were resistant towards the touch screens. They were nowhere. So what I will tell you, that only one thing is there, that you have to update yourself. You can't think, and as a teacher, what my opinions to my faculty colleagues, don't think that you know. You learn every day. You learn every day. And till the moment, if student sitting in the class, he says, whatever this professor is teaching, I can get on this GPT, then why? I said, don't attend my class. Please don't attend. So point is that teachers should also update themselves, what is happening surrounding them. Every day,
Your class, when you are coming to the class, you should ask the question which is there today in the economic times and how it has impacted the law, how the AI has been integrated, and then you should also know something about the economics, something about the law, something about the technology. You cannot be master for all. Because ekai sade sab sadain sab sade sab jaye rahi man siche mool ko full employer thaye. Your base is what? Your base is law. So your law base should be strong, but you should also try to absorb the other areas, the integration. That's the only answer I would like to say.
To your second question, I think what is important is you have to be lawyers first. So many students come to us and they tell us that I want to specialize in aviation law, or I want to specialize into IP. Forget all that. I think you have to learn everything, and that's the reason we are called as general counsels. We are not specialists. We have practiced every facet of law, whether it's employment law, whether it's IP law. For us, where bomb kaise bhi gir sakta hai, and you should have the ability to diffuse that bomb. And you should not say, well, मैंने तो IP specialization किया था, इसलिए aviation नहीं कर सकते. तो left hand, right hand नहीं, मतलब don't become a surgeon that you only know left hand and you cannot read the right hand. Be a lawyer who can do everything.
Did you understand what he meant by you have to first be a lawyer?
Yes.
What did you understand?
That's very. So it basically refers that we have to understand each and every subject's course, and then we have to adapt ourselves to it, so that we are not just lawyers, but we are also society shapers.
No. The lawyer, you should know what the law is. You should know how to interpret the law and how to implement the law. Okay? How many of you have picked up a Bear Act? What is the first thing that you read in a Bear Act? Can anybody answer? What is the first thing that you read in a Bear Act? Recital?
The title of the cover page title and the year.
Anything else?
Interpretation. Yeah.
Have you seen there's a first page, there's something known as an object of the law?
Yes. Yes.
Nobody reads. People still go to section 1, section 2 definitions and all that. Has anybody read the object clause? The object defines how you have to lawyer that law. To give you an example, labor laws. You pick up labor law. Always you must interpret labor laws in a manner, in a harmonious manner, for the benefit of the employee, not the employer. Okay? Criminal law, you must always find proof beyond reasonable doubt to convict a person. Right? Civil law, it has to be always a harmonious interpretation. You can't go by a strict interpretation of civil law. So these are object clauses that are there in the very first page. Once you understand what's the object clause, then you know how to interpret sections of that particular law. Tomorrow you could be doing IT, any law. So lawyering is very important. Laws and interpretation you must know. People forget. You take that exam, there's a university statutes, interpretation of statutes, a paper, right? People take that exam just as an exam and pass it and forget about it. Whereas that's your fundamental. If you know how to interpret statutes, then you can interpret any of the statutes. How do you think the Kapil Sibbals and the Harish Salves of the world pick up any matter and argue? How do they argue? One day they are doing constitutional law, next day they are doing tax law, third day they are doing something else. How do they do? They know exactly how to lawyer the matter. Okay, sorry, Ral.
On your AI query, are you aware there's a LinkedIn group called India Legal Tech Network? It's run by Shreya Bajpayee. Just go follow the group. It has a lot of legal tech companies that are creating wonderful solutions for lawyers and law firms. They're all a part of it. You'll get access to what's happening, what's hot, and perhaps there could be potential internship opportunities also from there. So
Good afternoon. My name is Shavina. I'm a second year BLB student. My question was, in your perspective, what are the most common qualities or habits that this younger generation of lawyers have that they should not have? Like they should break it. The quality, except for being like unproductive. Any other quality they should break?
So I take the liberty because my son is in second year National Law School. So I get to know how he began his journey when he finished his 12th. And he became a different person altogether while being in colleges. So I can see what he was at home and what he is today. It's absolutely a complete change. Of course, with time is getting better. Initially, it was a shocker for us that how could he come up with these ideas and all that. Most important thing which I find with these people is that the kids are a lot more impatient, and they talk about influencers and lot of easy making money forums. So he said that I can create this thing and so many followers will come and I have money. I said, I told my son that where is this money coming from? I mean, you're building up a scale, you want to be a musician, no problem. But why is that money thing coming? Because you are not even a full baked pottery at all to be in the market. And the one who are influencing, if they haven't completed the studies, what will happen 10, 15 years from now when that influencing item gets obsolete? So will they get back to studies? Will they get back to UPSC? Will they get back to medicine or something? So that's one important thing which I had to drill into him, that study, with a mind that you can follow your passions, but may not get influenced by that to leave your core strength. This is one part of it. Then second thing is that the curriculum is such that yes, internships are being promoted. I really want it to happen, but I found that the basic curriculum needs to be taught for them to relate that subject into the court when they are going. He went for 1 month Supreme Court internship. Luckily, I knew some people who took him under the wings. But it was 1 month internship. I put him boarding and lodging in Delhi. He went with zeal for 1 week or 10 days. And thereafter, when I would call him, he says, Papa, the lawyer is he's going to opposition case, so I will not go. I said, sorry, boss. There's a treaty between you and me, and you convinced us to remain in Delhi for 1 month, and you have to go to the court, meet other contemporary lawyers, sit with them. You meet Mr. Patwalia, you meet some people out there who might probably know of. You have to be there. So because his roommates were not serious about, so it rubbed on him not to go at all. So I don't blame him because he did not study fully to relate with the arguments happening in the court fully. So of course, the trade-off was that if you're in your parent towns like your districts and all that, wherever we come from, go to local courts. You can go, come back, and you are under good supervision of your parents because you are young and nascent. Big city, internship, living, and feeling that you have gained a lot without studying fully, I felt personally, was a bit of a gap. So the youngsters, the impatient part, and when you get enamored by the lawyers getting into big cars and wearing the gown stylishly and all that, I mean, it's like we are all brands actually, we're selling ourselves. So, but the youngsters get enamored by, this is the court practice and I'm going to be Supreme Court day one. I said, boss, you will learn with time that the basic court papers, the judgment of the trial court will travel till Supreme Court. Nobody can change that, mostly. So, he's getting to know many things from experience after my theoretical talks with him. But few things that experience, your studies, and your impatience, and I think you will learn as you grow up. That's what my take is.
A very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Saloni Thakur and I am a fifth year law student. You have showed us a very good book of a LinkedIn account and what kind of content should be posted or to avoid credibility and attract the right opportunities.
I'll just take a step back, and I was in an event about a decade back, or probably slightly older than that. Justice K.V. Vishwanathan, he was a senior advocate back then, and we were together speaking at an event, and he was supposed to talk about skill building for young professionals. and he, some of these things have just remained with me, right? So one of the key things that he mentioned was that as a law student, you should build a habit of writing something every day, reading something and writing something every day. There's something that even senior advocates like Mr. Arvind Datar, promote very seriously. If you ever happen to listen to him, high chances that he'll tell you to read and write. He attributes a lot of his success to writing books. Mr. Vishwanathan said that, Justice Vishwanathan now, sorry, said that what happens is that it helps you hone your craft over a period of time. And when you look back after 2-3 years, you have compiled a lot of material and content that you can then publish. He did not specifically talk about publishing it on LinkedIn, but what he was basically saying was that writing helps improve your craft, right? We've also got a book on art of legal writing. I'm going to leave these books with you for your reference, right? So what's important is LinkedIn is fairly simple, right? Though these days I'm a bit disturbed when I see an Instagram like video flooding of LinkedIn. I think people need to realize that there's a different objective with which these different platforms were created, right? So not all of them should look similar or be the same, right? But then commerce drives it. Essentially, one of the first things that you can do is read what others are writing. So start following the right set of people who you respect, who you think you can learn a lot from. There are all kinds of people, but then follow those who have attained good success in profession, who are known for their knowledge, who are known for their integrity, who are known for the credibility, right? And see the kind of posts that they are putting up. Try and comment on their posts. Don't use ChatGPT to comment. Think and build on their posts, right? That's a great way to start getting noticed. If you comment on somebody's posts frequently with sensible, insights and responses, high chances they will accept your LinkedIn request or they'll send you a LinkedIn request. Okay, that's one. Second is that be a part of networks and forums where you can connect with such people and put a post mentioning what did you learn from them at that event and tag them, right? That's another way to get noticed, and also share what you learned with the community. Okay, so I mean, these are very basic things, but it's a constructive process that you have to keep following, and over a period of time you will be able to master the craft. There are a lot of experts. I'm not sure how many of you know about an organization called Growth School. You heard about it? Vaibhav Sisinti, has anybody attended his training programs? He's a brilliant guy, right? Trying to do something unconventional. But what he teaches you is he teaches you how to use AI and technology to become a more productive and efficient professional, right? It is then up to you to figure out how can I apply it in my profession. So he's a generalist. He can tell you a lot of tools and techniques that are available, which many professionals are using. But then how you will use it to your advantage is something that you have to decipher. And you try and it's more like experimenting with some of these technologies, right? So yeah, so that'll be that.
One thing you should definitely write about is something which shakes your conscience. The most shocking judgment Allahabad High Court gave last week about rape of a minor, and it does not qualify to be a rape. Yes. Why are you guys silent on this? That is something which as students of law you should write, and read other judgments and then write your LinkedIn post. Such kind of shocking incidents cannot be. You cannot remain silent on such issues. Yes. So whatever hits your core is something you should definitely write about.
Yes.
But right, objectively, don't get emotional because a lot of social media gets monitored. Right? Objectively, why you don't like or why you like or what you. Don't go. Please be careful.
Just reach out.
just reach out to the faculty and we'll get you the answers.
You know, morning we had a conversation, just want to leave that thought. The Vice Chancellor sitting here. Sorry. We at General Council, we have an association called General Council Association of India, which the members are most of the top General Councils. We don't open up membership to anybody or everybody. People from Shulna University, Rajiv, Satyajit, and Renu Ahmed attended our conference last time. We attract, we were less than 30 members then, and we had, we must be doing something right. The long list came. We had the law secretary. We had named the person and we were there. So what we are planning to do at this point in time, which is more relevant for us, is that we are planning to, and it's still at a blueprint stage, but it will fructify someday. We are doing an internship program in which we want to make the internship program a little mass, rather than kids going searching for internship. And I see that very few kids here are from lawyers' backgrounds or law families, so obviously you'll not know the law firms, you'll not know people, and it will be very difficult for you to knock the doors, right? So we at General Council's Association, we are planning to do this, maybe 100 students or 200. Obviously there will be different people from different universities. That will also help you interact with them, and it will also tell you, benchmark yourself in terms of where you are in terms of, say, National Law University versus Shulna University or all that. And we'll get the best of industry people, whether it's starting from CEOs to finance people to obviously general counsels, and it will be rigorous. One thing, don't come for, like many people, kids go for internship for fun. Don't come for fun there, because we take life very seriously and we will ensure internship is very serious. You know, we might be smiling here, but when we get into the classroom, we, by the way, I was just in that we run 2 programs which are now a part of the curriculum. One with National Law University Delhi, one with National Law University Mumbai. The one in Delhi we do on the startup ecosystem, right? On the startup ecosystem, which is a full 6-month course. Every Saturday, Sunday, general counsels take time, 2 hours, 3 hours, they teach. And in Mumbai, we do international arbitration. And aviation and defense in Patiala, and Rajiv Gandhi. And so we do. So we are difficult class teachers, but what we missed in our life, we want to give that. And this is our way of giving it back to the community. So we just want to leave that thought with you. And as the blueprint gets into the next stage and all that, we'll reach out to you and your faculty and see how best it's possible for us to collaborate.
Thank you so much, panelists. What an incredible and insightful session it was. Can we have a huge round of applause? A huge thank you to all our panelists for sharing their expertise, their experiences, and their valuable insights with us today. Your thoughts on career development, industry expectations, and the future of legal profession have been nothing short of inspiring. As we heard, success in the legal field is not just about technical knowledge or academic achievement, it's about adaptability, continuous learning, building meaningful relationships, and navigating challenges with resilience. The path to a successful legal career is a journey that requires both passion and perseverance. And today, our panelists have certainly shown us the way forward. Can we again have a huge round of applause? So students, remember, the key to success is a combination of hard work, networking, and embracing new opportunities. So ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead with these words, I would like to call upon our respected Chancellor, Professor P.K. Khosla, to kindly come forward and share your valuable thoughts with us.
इसके तो ज़्यादा यूज हो without prepared for any address this morning. But I too was involved in the legal discussion this morning. I was with the advocates and that took my time. There was some institutional case. So we were discussing that. So meaning thereby, dear colleagues, friends, students, the whole life, I would say, revolves around legal aspects. Whether you go to court or you don't go to court, every time you are remanded. At home, there is always a remand between the husband and the wife, there is a discussion, and already finally the husband had to leave it. She is always a loser. Otherwise, the decision of the court will not be happy. I am thankful that Dr. Nandan had organized outstanding, I would say, deliberations by inviting senior people for the benefit of the students who are studying legal studies in Shoreditch University and his colleagues. They have done excellence in calling or negotiating or attending to the seniors and learning from them. So my only message to each and everyone is, there is doctrine of karma also. That is, as you sow, so shall you reap. If you look at the, I would say the Hindu philosophy, what is Hindu religion? From the legal angle it will be different. But as I take it, it revolves around only one thing. That is that just as I said, जैसा करोगे वैसा करोगे. बाकी तो practices है. Whether you are going to temple, you are going here, you are going to Gurudwara, going before either the statue or going before the book. That gives you strength and purity if you are going for all these things. But eventually the whole life, right? I have been examining in the religion, right? See, we don't know how it has, how much past history it has. But even if we look at the Christian era, right from the very first day, it was a religion and was an accepted philosophy. Whatever the Westerners may say, we had our Manusmriti, we had our Vedas, we had our books, and finally the Bhagavad Gita, which is dominating in the past and it is still continuing to dominate because it is the surmise of all the philosophies around which the Hinduism revolves. So, go through the, I would say, League has also given examples of the Bhagavad Gita. Go through the Bhagavad Gita, above the philosophy or legal studies is written there. And because maybe our saints and sages are very clever here, I'm not using in the negative sense. In English, clever is given to a very intelligent person. हमें इंग्लिश जो इंडियन इंग्लिश है ना यहाँ क्लेवर मीन्स चोर चक्कर हेराफेरी मास्टर. So when I got to UK with my family, way back in 75, 77, I had two sons, one was 2.5, 3.5, the other one. The Britishers, the English people, the children, they were sons of very clever. हम जो शुरू में सुनते थे, 2.5 साल का बच्चा क्या क्लेवर बोलेगा? The father said, no, clever would mean it's the positive signs that very active, smart. So I congratulate the School of Legal Studies. They have organized this outstanding program, of which anybody can be proud of. And also the dignitaries which have come here if they had not come, the sanctity and the importance of the knowledge flow would not have been there. I think for institutions, these such organizations sharing their thoughts are very important. Besides the books, you should also, especially in your subject. Your subject is mostly outside the books also, because the numeric चीजें होती हैं, वो भी आपकी साइंस ही है, वो भी आपकी एजुकेशन ही है, and your discussion in the courtroom, discussions with both sides of the advocates are standing and discussing the issues. So I'm sure that the Shuri University will not lag behind, and its faculty will do its best to ensure that the students which are produced by Shuri University are second to none. They can stand the test of time, and they can opt if they like both the course for the practice. I wish everyone all the best, and especially the pleas which have come from our places, those who have been coming and those who are here. And I no words, I don't have any big words to express my thanks to them that their presence has gratified and enhanced the stature of the seminar which Dr. Nathan has organized. I wish him all the best. Everyone who wishes have a happy life here. Thank you very much.
For your words of wisdom and all, as always. So moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for book launch. It's my immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Manish Chaturvedi. Sir is a finance professional who combines strategic expertise with insights from Indian scriptures. Passionate about leadership and organizational transformation, he blends timeless wisdom with modern challenges to offer practical solutions. A skilled storyteller, he draws parallels from ancient texts to help professionals navigate complexities with clarity, integrity, and competence, making his leadership lessons both impactful and thought-provoking. Let's embark on a journey where we explore the intersection of time-tested principles and the demands of contemporary leadership. His approach promises to help leaders and professionals, whether seasoned or emerging, lead with purpose and make decisions that are grounded in both wisdom and practical experience. With these words, I invite you, sir, on stage to kindly share your thoughts.
Thank you, University, for giving me this opportunity. And thanks, Rajiv sir, for introducing me to this university. And of course, thanks to all the students who have come with heart, mind, and soul for this panel discussion of the entire program. So, generally I get up, rather universe wake me up at around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock every day. And then I decide what to do, whether to go back and sleep again or do something else. Today I decided to come here. And so while I was coming here, I was thinking of what I should speak about. So there are 5 things which I'll speak about in this, I guess, 10-15 years time I've been allotted. And I would request all of you to remember all these 5 things because I tend to forget at times. So first thing I will talk about is why and what about this book, why I've written this book. And the second piece is if I see legal professionals as an entrepreneur, so what is my point of view on this? Secondly, out of this book, if any character resonates with the legal profession, which is that character? And the fourth one is my piece of advice to as a finance professional or as an internal auditor to legal fraternity. And the fifth one, I'll talk about having mentorship. So having mentor and essence of mentorship. Yeah. So of course, we heard all the panelists and they spoke from their experience. So what I'll do, I'll not talk much about all these things. So I'll cover all these things through different stories. Yeah, is it okay with all of you? Yeah. So first one was why I've written this book. So, it was never in my mind to write a book up till 2-3 years back. And but since very early stage of my life, rather childhood, I was very much drawn to scriptures, moral stories, and similar stuff. And I'll read them, and I'll try to understand why it is so, why this story has been written, or actually has it happened, and then if it has happened, अगर मैं उस जगह होता तो क्या करता हूँ, something like that. So, very first story which I remember, I guess I was in class 6th or 7th. So I read about one story. It was the story of a Dadi Ma and uska grandson and grandmother. Yeah. So this story goes like this. There is a Dadi Ma, and with her there is a grandson. So दोनों एक पहाड़ पे रहते हैं. So I'm mixing both Hindi and English. I hope you all are okay with that. Yeah. So दोनों एक पहाड़ पे रहते हैं और every day जो दादी है वो पहाड़ से उतर के नीचे आती है. And then she go for all shopping and everything, and she doesn't allow his grandson to come down along with her. And grandson तो देखता है कि दादी बूढ़ी हो रही है, उसके हाथ पैर अब शायद नहीं चलते हैं. तो he keeps saying कि दादी मेरे को जाने दो, आप क्या करोगे? मैं ले आता हूँ, सब्जी तो दादी है, या whatever stuff we need to buy from market. Dadi never allowed. So what happens over the period, दादी की एज हो रही है, knees घुटनों में दर्द होना शुरू हो चुका है. She is finding it difficult. So what she does, one fine day, she told her grandson, कि बेटा जाओ, आज तुम चले जाओ, जाके नीचे आके सब्जी ले आओ. So this guy was very excited. So he started running towards market. Daddy stopped him and said, बेटा देखो, ये चश्मा ले जाओ, ऐनक ले जाओ, और ऐनक पहनने के बाद ही सब्जी खरीदना. और जो भी शॉपकीपर आपको उसमें मनुष्य बैठा दिखाई दे, ह्यूमन बीइंग, उस सेकंड. तो बच्चा वाज लाइक कि दादी तो एज भी हो गई, लगता है शी हैज लॉस्ट इट कंप्लीटली. तो शॉपकीपर तो ह्यूमन बीइंग ही होगा, वहां पे कोई एनिमल्स तो बैठे नहीं होंगे. बट somehow सर सेड कि उस समय हमारे जमाने में बच्चे माँ बाप की बात मानते ही थे सब प्रकार. तो ही went on, और to all his amaze, it was a fantastic, fabulous market. So much of light and everything was there, and this guy said कि यार क्या market है. Yeah. Then he realized कि दादी ने चश्मा दिया है बच्चों. So suddenly उसने वो चश्मा पहना. The moment he wore that चश्मा, the entire stuff was changed. तो किसी शॉप पे कोई जैकाल बैठा है, किसी पे टाइगर बैठा है, किसी पे कोई और बैठा है, and he was like कि अब मैं कहाँ जाऊँ. So finally सारा कॉम्बिंग करने के बाद उसको एक शॉप मिली जहाँ एक ह्यूमन बीइंग बैठ के अपना सौदा सब्जी जो भी था वो बेच रहा. The quality of the products was also good and the rates were also good. He bought it and came back. तो ऊपर आया तो he said कि चलो मैं भी देखता हूँ, मैं क्या देखता हूँ. तो उसकी दस्ती वो स्पेक्स लगा के शीशे में आईने में अपने आप को देखा, उसको उसमें छुआ गया. तो the moment he saw छुआ, he started crying. तो दादी को जाके अपने हक कर देता, बोलता दादी मुझे मनुष्य बना, नहीं क्या हो. तो दादी said कि बच्चे मनुष्य का शरीर मिलने से ही मनुष्य नहीं होता है. You need something more to be a मनुष्य. And that story stayed with me at that point of time. I was so young, I could not understand कि अब ये मनुष्य बनते कैसे, शरीर तो मिल गया, अब मनुष्य कैसे बनते हैं. After some time, few years passed away, and then luckily I met one leader of a socio-political organization, and he asked me, Manish, बड़े होकर क्या बनोगे? So students, there are many people in my family, those who are in police services. So very proudly I said, sir, मैं तो IPS बनूंगा. He said नहीं, nothing doing. He smiled and said कि तुम्हारे हाथ में नहीं है तो IPS बनोगे कि जाके SP बनोगे. The only thing you have in your hand is to be a good human being. And then I thought, this is different. So I asked, sir, ये बनते कैसे? अच्छा, good human being. He said, develop your character and be competent. So character and competence. Then over the period, I started working on that. फिर मैं industry में आ गया, job करने लगा, जैसे सब करते हैं. And then over the period, I Googled someday and I found this trust matrix. It says trust is the function of character and competence. So character is your intent and your integrity, the way you operate, the way you conduct, how part of your life. And then then the competence piece. Yeah. So competence is what you do. So this book is all about character and competence. So generally when you go on, you will find that most of the people are more into competence, where we see that success is a zero-sum game. So here in this book, I'm talking about both character and competence. So this is why I've written this book. So this is my first point. The second point was, what was my second point? Yeah, the second point is, if I see legal professional as entrepreneur, so how do you see that? So there is a story in this book which talks about that there was a farmer, and I'll not take much time. Yeah. So there was a farmer, he had two sons, and this farmer decided to retire. He was very rich. So the elder son thought कि मिलेगा तो मेरे को, अब मैं बड़ा बेटा हूँ तो मुझे ही मिलना चाहिए. Yeah. So but the farmer said, no, and he asked his elder son, go to the market and figure out, मेरे को लगता है हमको अपना business expand करना पड़ेगा. So we will need more cows and more bulls. So go and figure out कि मेरे को कैसे मिलेगी. Go to the next village. So the elder one went and came back and said, father, last village में 10 cow and bulls हैं. How से fix it? He said, okay. मतलब दूसरा बेटा जाओ तुम पूरा करके आओ. He went back and came. He said, okay, nearby village has 10 cows and bulls, 6 cows, 10 bulls, each costing 10,000 rupees and 15,000 rupees. If we buy now, they will offer 10% discount. And if they are also ordering some Jersey guy, if we can wait for another 7 days, they will give us Jersey guys at concessional price. So this is entrepreneurship, where you understand the entire logic. What is the question? What probable question can come? So understand the entire story is entrepreneurship. So as a legal professional, unless and until if you come across any situation, any case, unless and until you understand the entire story, you will not be supporting the business like I spoke about during his initial case, what was happening with him. This was the second, and I guess we are running right now to the time. The third one was about what? Yeah. So third one is about what character resonate with legal professional. So I would say be like Beaver. आपने अगर Beaver की कहानी पढ़ी होगी. Beaver has so many traits. He is very, very ethical. He finds logic. He is innovative. He is courageous. All this is required. So Akbar को नाराज नहीं करता है, but he finds a way to convince his point, to put it across his point. आपने बीरबल के खिचड़ी की point स्टोरी सुनी हो. So these are innovative ways of putting your points across. And the fourth point was what I expect from legal professional. So if you have read Munshi Premchand's story of Panch Parmeshwar, so there are two friends, but both decided against each other because they were on the part of justice. Yeah. So this is what I expect. Be ethical, and integrity is foremost, and to act with integrity. And the fifth and last point is about wisdom, or about mentorship. So it is always necessary to have mentors. Yeah. So mentors, you find your mentors in your friends, find your mentors in your seniors, find your mentors in your faculty. Unless and until you have mentors, it will be difficult for you to succeed. Like sir spoke about that he keeps meeting different senior people, judges, lawyers, everybody, and they seek their perspective. So this is the importance of mentorship. And I'm also, along with my books, I'm also carrying a book written by my CFO, and she has written on mentorship. So I'm requesting university to keep this book in their library. And this book talks about mentorship, so importance of mentorship. And on this note, yeah.
would like to invite Chancellor Sir to please come on stage and launch the book with Manish Sir. Manish Sir. Can we have a huge round of applause, please? Can we have a huge round of applause? Thank you, sir.
Nothing in my hand. And said, how much money you have? I said, sir, my personal bank balance. I said, maybe 1.5 lakh or 2. Because you are thinking of setting up the university. Till then, I had not thought this aspect. But now I can proudly say, God help those who have done something.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause to Manish Sir for sharing his incredible insights and for giving us a deeper understanding of the wisdom behind his book. Thank you so much, sir. So moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this insightful session, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Nandan Sharma, Associate Dean at Faculty of Legal Science, to please come ahead for a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I know I'm standing between lunch and the occasion's audience sitting here, but still, this is one of the most important ways to end any of the ceremonies at Grand. And I'm so humbled, obliged, just to share 2 minutes, ma'am, I'll take company, ma'am, that it took us, sir, 8 years to have you here, right? So it's not a mean task. So I was really fortunate. Why 8 years? Because we started in 2017. We were a very small law school. We are still a very law school compared to the big other universities. We are building on it, and we are running, just a brief background also, 2 courses, 5 years LLB and BLLB. And now also coming up with the BBLLB program, and obviously Masters and PhD program. Thanks to the vision Professor Khosla gave, and I joined since inception in 2017, and to the wonderful rankings that each one of the members of the management and trust who works day and night. We are top 500 global university, talk about the QS ranking, the Science Higher Education, top 100 NIRF ranked university, and the latest in the feather is the NAC A+ accreditation. So, students, we have lots and lots to be happy, not only about the ranking, but about the present day event. I know we've been organizing great conferences, seminars, be it with judges speaking to you from this dais, or governors, or the senior advocates, but this was a unique platform today, which I feel, and obviously special thanks goes to the trio also. I must say Avni, Rajiv and Renu here, so for bringing. So after this, obviously Satyajit, yes. So, yes. Thank you so much, Raghu sir. You were so true, you were so humble, bringing out the intricacies. Obviously, one of the most experienced persons from corporate life here, and sharing your whole experience. It's not an easy task, coming away all the way from Delhi and sparing time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rohit. Although we are very near, so I'll be catching you more often in Chandigarh. Thank you so much for being introduced here in Shulini, and we'll be after you now. And obviously, Dr. Pandey, the verses with Gita and bringing the entire ancient transcripts also with the blend of corporate world. Obviously, an academician can do this truly. I still remember meeting you in OP Jindal when we visited. I and Renu visited long back, and still then we've been into many. We've held joint conferences also, and I think 2 big universities, 2 research-driven universities must work together to fulfill the common objective. So thank you so much. Obviously, Vikesh, as Raghu sir said, we had many books sitting here on the dais, so you have lots to do, and many authors sitting, I am sure, in the audience also. Thank you. I am a very great fan of yours, and I could not attend the Vidhi Utsav, but sure next time we'll be there in Delhi. Thank you so much for being there. Dr. Akhil, you fired with your keynote address. Thank you so much. Typically in Hindi, the start was perfect, I think, because your whole life journey is in very much resonance with the students, because often Rajiv talks that, or Atul sir also talks that most of the kids are from tier 2 and tier 3 cities and are thinking that when will we be the corporate lawyers, हमारे लिए वो life है नहीं है कब है. So thank you for bringing the true reality behind, because it's for every one of us. Dreams, obviously we have to dream, and only then we'll achieve it. So thank you so much, and thank you sir, Lamba sir. You've been a true support here. Your version, first your stint with the corporate world, and then yourself running a food industry now. Thank you so much for coming here. And I think it's not an end; it's the beginning of a new journey. As sir said, the bag of internships is being it's open for you guys. So it's I think the best input, the best intake you could take from this conference today. And I think we could really align the academia and the industry, which I feel, because I personally learned a lot of things that sir said. We are researchers, we are students, obviously. We remain students. So thank you so much. Thank you to the audience, my dear students, sitting for 3 hours. I love you all for this. I'm giving a good impression that you are good listeners. And not coughing and just creating disturbances. So thank you to the operations team, the entire effort. Thank you to the students. I could see yesterday and the few days that how much of think tank was going on in the rooms in 201 to bring this to success. Obviously, Dr. Renu, from the PR, Dr. Nisha. So thank you very much. Thank you, faculty, and thank you, Professor Khosla, the Chancellor sir, for again making us for this event. You were in the in course of law in Solon for a case, but still you could make up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. For our students, the torch bearers for justice, this is your moment to rise, adapt, and conquer the evolving landscape of law. It's about bridging the challenge between theoretical brilliance and practical mastery, empowering you, our future legal luminaries, to shape a system that's dynamic and relevant. So I would end by saying, don't just learn the law, learn how to innovate within it. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, everyone. In the end, I would like to request respected Chancellor, the panelists, should any faculty members to please come forward for a group photo.